The 2015 Speedway Grand Prix season continues this weekend with the Gorzow SGP from the Jancarz Stadium. Before we get started, I just want to wish Darcy Ward all the best in his recovery from the accident he suffered last weekend in Poland. I'm sure everyone is aware of what happened and all thoughts are for Darcy and his family at this time. The event is the 188th Speedway Grand Prix overall and the 43rd to come from Poland, with this being the 5th meeting to come out of Gorzow. Start time is 7 PM local, that's 6 PM in the UK. The wildcard for the meeting will be Bartosz Zmarzlik, who won this event as the wildcard last year and also achieved a 3rd place in 2012. Peter Kilderman continues to fill in for the injured Jaroslav Hampel. As said, Zmarzlik was the winner of the Grand Prix here last year, and he did so with 17 points and 4 heat wins. Mati Zagar came second with 16 points, helped also with 4 heat wins, while Krzysztof Kaszprzak was third, also on 16. Michael Jepsen-Jensen completed the final and finished with 14 points. A look at the 4 previous GPs here at the Jancarz Stadium shows us that repeat success is hard to come by in Gorzow. We've seen 4 different winners, only 2 of which are riding this weekend in Greg Hancock and the aforementioned Zmarzlik, while Chris Holder is the only rider other than the wildcard to have reached the podium on 2 occasions here, coming second in both 2012 and 2013. If we look at the record of GP wins in Poland, it comes as no surprise to see the legendary Tomasz Golob at the top with an impressive 10 wins in his home country. Nicky Pedersen is closest to him with 5 ahead of Jason Crump, who has 4. Current world champion Hancock has tasted glory 3 times on Polish soil, a record he shares with the great Tony Rickardsson. Podiums in Poland show an even more impressive lead for Golob, as he has 18 ahead of Pedersen on 11. Hancock shares 3rd on the list with Rickardsson and the injured Jaroslav Hampel, all of whom having finished on the rostrum 10 times. For a look at the full history of winners and podiums in all SGPs, follow the link in the description. Peter Kilderman's first career SGP win last time out in Horsens kicked off the second half of the season, and he became the 6th different winner this year, with Pedersen still the only rider to have multiple wins. With the opening GP in Warsaw stopped after 12 heats, Gorzow will hopefully become the first full Grand Prix of the season in Poland. The top 2 in the standings didn't change after the Danish SGP, but Ty Woffenden's streak of reaching every final so far this year continued, and that helped him to extend his lead over Pedersen, who only reached the semi-finals, to an impressive 13 points. Hancock still maintains 3rd place with 65 points, but Zagar's 2nd place at the Casa Arena means that he is now level with the current world champ on points. Chris Holder reached the semis and scored 10 in Horsens, and this helped him to move above Niels Christian Iversen in the standings, and with Jason Doyle's return of 12 from Denmark, there is now just 5 points separating 3rd and 7th place, with Maciej Janowski just 2 points adrift in 8th place. Michael Jepsen-Jensen took bronze in his home GP, and this keeps him in 9th place and currently the only rider in the bottom half who looks like challenging the automatic qualifying positions. That said, Kilderman's win helped him climb into 12th place, and he might be able to challenge depending on how long Hampel remains out. At the bottom, the struggles for Chris Harris and Krzysztof Kaszprzak continued, and both really need a good night to avoid becoming cut adrift. A look at heat wins this year shows us that Woffenden has now moved into the 20s and is comfortably leading the pack. Pedersen is currently the only rider anywhere near him with 17, while Hancock, Holder and Janowski all have 12. Hampel's 7 wins before injury still sees him in 8th place despite riding in less than half of the GPs this year. This is a statistic the likes of Iversen, Jensen and Batchelor all need to change to help move their seasons forward. Over the last 4 GPs, the reason behind Woffenden's lead at the top is evident, as the Brit has been consistently scoring the most GP points. Interestingly, it is Holder who has been on 2nd best form ahead of Pedersen and Zagar. Hancock may have some cause for concern, as he only ranks 6th on form, with 3 of his challengers to the bronze medal position all scoring higher. Kilderman's strong performance since filling in for Hampel is shown by his 8th position, while Andreas Johnsen has been struggling at the other end. It's been a busy few weeks of league action since Denmark, and it's the wildcard Bartosz Zmarzlik who has fared best, averaging 9.9 over 6 meetings, helped by twice scoring 14 points in 5 rides. First on this very track for Gorzow in a 48-42 victory over Zielona Góra, and then in Sweden for Vetlanda in a 54-36 home win against Rozbygana. A 6-ride maximum for Rzeszów away at Tarnów helped Greg Hancock to 2nd on this list, though the team wasn't able to follow his lead and went down 42-48. Iversen has been his usual busy self with 11 meetings since Horsens and has a CMA of 8.7, which also include a 6-ride maximum, as he helped Kings Lynn defeat Coventry Bees 54-35 at home. Championship leader Woffenden hasn't been on his best form, highlighted most by a 2-point night in Sweden for Vetlanda against Leonen, but he has however scored better than his nearest rival Pedersen, whose troubles came to a head in Poland when he was red-carded from the meeting for Lejno after 3 rides as they defeated Torun 46-44 on the road. In individual action, there's been a couple of events. First, the Speedway European Championship continued with round 3 from Kumla in Sweden on August 15. This featured just Nicky Pedersen from the SGP series, and he finished 3rd in the final, having scored 10 points in his qualifying rides and then winning the last chance race-off. The meeting itself was won by former SGP rider Emil Saifudinov, who secured an 18-point maximum. 6 days later, the Danish final was held in Slangerup, featuring Pedersen, Niels Christian Iversen and Michael Jepsen Jensen. Iversen came out on top for the 4th year in a row, joining greats such as Ole Olsen and Erik Gundersen in that feat, after pipping Nicky Pedersen by a point in the final. Both riders had scored 13 and won 3 heats heading into the final, and Iversen's 2nd place secured his title. Jepsen Jensen had a less successful time, scoring 7 points from his qualifying rides and failing to reach the final. That's everything for this weekend's Grand Prix. In unusual fashion, it might be that the wildcard heads into this weekend as the favourite. Certainly, it would be an unwise person to rule Zmarzlik out. If Woffenden, however, keeps up his streak of making finals, then in the race for the title, Pedersen is going to have to start winning GPs to overhaul the Brits' lead. Thanks for watching, subscribe to see more preview videos, and check back here in 2 weeks for the Slovenian Grand Prix. Bye for now.